Intel Capital is a venture capital private equity arm of Intel Corporation. A very large organization. We have about 85 investment directors around the world. We do several $100 million investments per year, obviously globally. We have several hundred companies in our portfolio in all various technology segments. There's a myth that says because we're Intel, it means we only invest in things that are specific to Intel, like hardware, chipset development, etc. That's not true. We actually have a very wide investment focus from internet, consumer internet, to enterprise software, to consumer software, to infrastructure projects like broadband, data centers, pretty much everything that has to do with technology investments across the world. We have several companies in our portfolio in this region, in Russia and Ukraine, which I can talk about later if there's interest.
I work for a company called Forticom, which was originally from the Baltic states, but now it's running social networking sites in Lithuania, Latvia, and most notably Russia. Odnoklassniki is basically one of our projects. And so I'm running Lithuania for Forticom, and I've also started a couple of my own companies before joining Forticom, and I'm actively investing into a number of startups. And I'm really glad to be here.
So my name is Aldas Susi. I'm a partner at a venture capital company called MTVP. We're focusing on investments in Central Eastern European region, looking at consumer internet software, mostly kind of early stage, or let's say early growth stage companies, starting from startups and pre-revenue companies as well. So we've done several investments in Russia, in Baltics, also in Finland. Yeah, so that's shortly about that. We're still looking at interesting investee companies and investment opportunities across the region, including Ukraine. So that's basically it, shortly.
And Bohdan?
My name is Bohdan Kupych. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for KM Core. KM Core is a technology investment company based in Ukraine. Most of you may know the company Quasar Mikro. This is the second generation, you could say, of Quasar Mikro. Quasar Mikro this year will celebrate 20 years as a company. It was founded 20 years ago in November. And since then, we've gone through the complete cycle of a startup company started by a founder, expanding our business from products to systems integration, moving to multinational business, expanding to different countries, selling the company or selling part of the company, consequently being involved in IPO, which was talked about earlier today. The company was IPO'd on the London Stock Exchange in 2007, sold the rest of the company, returned back and started a technology investment company. Today we have a portfolio of approximately 8 companies. Some are operating companies, some are VC-type investments.
Maybe you could tell a bit about the 8 companies that you're involved in, and or at least some of them, and about some of the criteria that you used for investment in the companies. Generally, when I look at investments and when we discuss investments in the partnership, we pay significant attention to the people, to who actually makes up the team of the investment, what market they're going after, and what products they have. And really, we like to go after large opportunities, after very clearly defined markets, and obviously work with good people. What are your experiences in this?
I worked for Digital Equipment of Canada, I'm a Canadian, which was a very successful IT company, which started as a venture capital investment of $50,000. But working in this region for the past 19 years, recognizing the fact that there are tremendous people here, there's great technologists, but one thing that we look for in our investments is to have a team that can take a company from startup to, say, the first $1 million in revenue to grow to $10 million, and ultimately our goal for our portfolio companies is to be a $100 million company or more. So there's very specific skills required for the teams to move from the founder startup stage to generating revenue, to become profitable, and then looking for a potential exit strategy. One area that we look for is a strong team, people that can take a company from startup to becoming a good-sized company. And that's one area that I think in Ukraine is still a challenge. A lot of good technical people, but people that have the skills to be able to grow the company to a sizable global company. Because let's face it, you know, it's a global market out there. You have to be able to and willing to compete globally. Another thing I just wanted to mention was that we are involved in various types, not just venture investments. Therefore, you could say we're an opportunistic investor. Part of that is because we have some of our own resources. So we can plant a lot of seeds today, not a lot of capital available for investment in technology in this region, in Ukraine in particular. Consequently, we can plant a lot of seeds which we see will start to grow in 3, 5, 7 years.